Hello, welcome to 1 Million Cups. Please feel free. There's this is not a Gallagher concert. There's no watermelon. The front rows do not get soda. Is the front row going to get soda? So, nope, you're safe in the front row. So my name is Zhenden. I'm an organizer for 1 Million Cups, the event you are at right now. How many of you are at this event for the first time? Nice. Well, I will direct my comments to you, sir. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So this is a weekly startup event where 2 entrepreneurs from the community come up here and present what they're building in Tampa Bay, the cool companies, the cool products, the cool services, what is going on. They're up here for 6 minutes. They tell you all about their product, their company. Then there's 20 minutes of Q&A from the audience. And that's your turn, all of your turn, to ask questions, give suggestions, seek clarification, and most importantly, think through your connections, who you know that might be able to help this company grow here in Tampa Bay, become a juggernaut. We are always looking for presenters, so if you know someone, if you are somebody that would have a good, scalable product under 4 years old that would like to present, you go to 1millioncups.com/CP, request to present. There will be, we will reach out to you, the organizers, of which I am one, which Murray is one, and there are 3 organizers who did not show up today, so we will shame them next week, but then hopefully they all return. We also could not do this without our sponsor, Cup of Coffee. We appreciate the free coffee every morning. We appreciate their flexibility in giving us cups when we run out at the last minute. And we could not do it without them. We could not do it without Carly, who actually puts everything together, arranges everything, gets everything set up, and produces the weekly emails that many of you get. They explain who is up here, who presented, how you can help them about events in the startup community. And if you're not getting those emails, the sign-in sheet is read by Kat. Kat, if you would raise your hand and direct people to the sign-in sheet, I would appreciate it. Thank you. So I'm actually going to stop talking without further ado and introduce Mark to tell us a little bit about Cicerone.
Morning, how's everybody? Yeah, we're going to be energetic today, that's what we do. If you don't like the energy, I'm so sorry you're not going to like me. Couple things. Does anyone know what memes are? Right? For the older crowd, and I'm not trying to be age biased, so you're not going to get much content out of this. It's all going to be coming from me. For the younger crowd, hopefully at the very least you'll think it's funny. So hi, my name is Mark Nelson. Before we get started, if you have a rough morning, you're feeling kind of groggy, go get the coffee. Big shout out to Sean. Thank you for doing what you do at 1 Million Cups with you and your team. If Bronco's not in the room, then big thank you to Caldwell for being able to do the things that they do always and help us sponsor. They be the lifeblood of St. Petersburg. So, basic introduction stuff. Again, name is Mark Nelson. I'm going to answer 2 questions for you so you get to understand who I am. One is, what do I like to do? And one is, what do I do? First being, what do I like to do? You can kind of see it. I love to dance. I love to play music. I'm a musician. I love to cook. And I love to kite surf. We're all people here. We all have these different needs and interests, and I think that's really important to share. Though another thing is, what do I like to do? What do I actually do? And so bottom right is a picture of me and my team. So I'm in partner with Shoot to Thrill Media. We do web development, SEO, lead generation, and consulting for process management, creative problem solving. Lots of fun stuff, though I haven't always done that. I spent most of my professional career in cybersecurity, and I left 4 months ago on Friday the 15th to pursue my own entrepreneurial endeavors. So a little basic about who I am. Let's actually show you. This is the problem that we solve for all of our customers. If you don't really understand what you're doing with your web presence, or if you don't understand really how to kind of get your game better online, we'll help you there. So let's get down to business. So I'm here presenting Cicerone. This is actually a new company founded out of our existing company. So I was talking about we do lead generation, lead management. Well, Cicerone is a rideshare advertising company that's kind of going to act as a subsidiary. We're going to be able to promote local businesses through Uber and Lyft cars. Now, before I continue further, story time. Great show of hands, who in here is and or has been an Uber or Lyft driver? Okay, what up? All right, 2, who in here has used Uber or Lyft? Who in here knows what Uber or Lyft is? Awesome, that should be everybody's hand. If not, we should have a personal conversation again. So obviously, I used to be an Uber driver. The concept came from this. It's having this awesome ride, picked somebody up on the south side, and engaged in this really cool conversation that said, group of 4, we're going out to eat, where are the best places? I'm like, are you kidding me? Food is my thing. I got it. So what do you want? You want Italian? Perfect. Well, outside of my own home, we're going to say Il Ritorno, Grazie, Moscatos, Pitas. I mean, just going all about it. They had such a great experience with me because I was able to give them value through that car ride. They gave me a huge tip. I was like, what? This is fantastic. If I could replicate this, I'd make more than $4. Like, this is awesome. So I said, how can I replicate this? How can I replicate this experience? And that's where the entire concept of being able to promote local businesses through Uber and Lyft cars came from. Because we, as Uber drivers, have something valuable. We're the concierge of the city, right? We are the experts, the people, we know where everyone is going to and from. So as an Uber driver, we recommend the best places to go to our riders. Our riders then go to those businesses, give you consumable dollars. Those dollars will then trickle back down to our drivers, and it's a really beautiful life cycle. Probably sounds a little crazy. Probably already have some really good thoughts on, well, how are you going to measure it? And how do I prove that the person went? And what is this even legal? Like, how does this even work, right? Promise I'm not that crazy. So what if I told you that we're combining all the most powerful pieces of marketing through this platform, rideshare advertising, which is kind of a new coin term. If you haven't heard of it, that's totally cool. So show of hands who thinks word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising, and or like just marketing in general. Show of hands who thinks online referrals is more powerful. Equally powerful? A little less powerful. Still very powerful. Awesome. And then who here thinks that text message marketing is actually on the up and up and really like engaging traction? Probably a lot of you. If not, you should check out Twilio. It's really important. So we combine all of those things. We combine word of mouth marketing from our actual drivers who are like the concierge. We combine the online referrals based on where we direct the riders is through a SMS and or text message. So, got all the best marketing practices. How does this actually work? So we built an online community over the last year and a half with over 500 drivers. And we've signed up hundreds of drivers to actually come on and be the largest organization of rideshare collaboration in Tampa Bay. So from North Tampa down to Sarasota, we're able to present and or promote your companies. Super simple, the driver signs on. I built the back-end stuff to where we automate messaging, we build the affiliate program so each unique driver has their link to where they can individually get paid and we can track everything. And it's a PPC model, meaning pay-per-click. So these drivers are sending text messages to all of their riders. Every rider that clicks on a specific link to your business is going to generate a link. It's generating a click. That click is going to be measured on a conversion rate, and based on our current breakdown, we're operating at an 18% conversion rate out of our clicks, 1 in 6. Pretty powerful for people who are local with disposable income in your area. So why has this not been done? Is it even legal? A couple things, right? It's kind of a different idea. You probably don't hear about, I'm going to bring all these Uber drivers together because that's going to be really easy and I'll be able to manage all of that system. It's really difficult to find these people unless you're in the community, right? And then it's, well, how do you measure? How do you track it? 1 minute, awesome. How do you measure it? How do you track it? So had to spend a lot of time building and, subsidizing different systems that work through affiliate programs to actually be able to provide the analytics necessary and the tracking mechanisms necessary to validate the models of your businesses that you're promoting. Because the business wants to know, is this actually real? Are these clicks spoofed? Is there multiple IPs coming on? How are the links unique? How are the clicks unique? So we've taken care of those things. And legality is real. It comes through, it goes through Uber's terms and conditions. So we're good. Sounds great. What are the results? As I said, and if all of our drivers were on the road, we'd be able to touch over 100,000 people monthly. And so it's a really big opportunity for promoting local business. 1 in 6 have shown conversion based out of our test results. And the best thing that any of you all can do for us is send us referrals. That's for people who are interested in getting their word out, redesigning, rebranding, but also promoting the company through this platform. Thank you.
More specifically, as far as the clients that are having the higher rates of success with the conversions, I'm assuming restaurants, that kind of thing, what other types of businesses and referrals to you could be most likely?
Restaurants, hotels, entertainment. Think hospitality, and thank you. Again, I didn't have as much time to go over the analytics. We've broken down based on a sample size of a few hundred to 1,000 within our area that a majority of our demographics leans 2 ways. We've got 56% being travelers. So these are the people vacations, people coming down, they've got families, or it's just a couple, and they've got disposable income. They are ready to spend money and they want to have an amazing experience. The experience is most important. So that's a big portion where we're going to send them to restaurants, the best hotel if they haven't chosen one yet, and entertainment. For locals, again, that's the remainder of the population. Typically my demographic, so it's between the ages of 23 and 32, and those people are looking for the best, like what's cool, like what's going on, what should I do tonight? And we've seen really positive results on both sides of it. So the industry typically leads to anything hospitality, restaurant, hotel, entertainment.
I found a very interesting idea. I found your charts very fun and funny and uplifting, and some of that is good.
Yep.
I think I'm still confused about how exactly your company works. You may want to think about introducing some charts that show a graphic of how the system works, and what it is precisely that you do.
And I'm happy, I actually have a infographic that I'm happy to send you. So I'll get your contact at the end, and I'm good to send that to anybody and like include that.
And so a follow-on question is, why can't Uber or Lyft do this themselves?
Thank you for asking that. Cool. So it breaks their terms and conditions. Why does Uber work currently, or at least why is it gray currently? It's because it's not a ride-hauling company. It's a logistics company. They pair riders with drivers. They don't do anything about the driving part. As soon as they take control of those riders, or as soon as they take control of those drivers, they become a ride-hauling company. They become, their contractors become employees. And so it's that gray line that they can't cross, and it explicitly says that in their terms and conditions.
I'm still not 100% sure I understand the revenue model.
Yeah. So it's a pay-per-click model. Basically, our drivers are sending out all these messages.
So does it require the driver to actually collect the phone number for the client?
So the driver will be sending it through the platform and application itself, right? So we're able to leverage Uber and Lyft for the engagement in the community that they have. So great examples. Hey, so again, my name. What was your name?
Ben.
Ben?
Yeah.
Hey Ben, this is Mark, your Uber driver. I'm on my way, and by the way, here's the best places to go locally if you're trying to have a good night. Right? That's the engagement. That's the text message that's sent. It's super personal. It lets them know you're coming, as well as super educational. And then every click that happens from that driver's getting paid out.
Is the driver making text, or do you guys have an app that makes text?
Yeah, so right now, it's built on a back-end system to where it's semi-automated. Is the best way to say it. You have to enter every driver in manually, though you can schedule every message that happens. So, and every driver is not going to be promoted. Like say we have 30 customers, you're not getting 30 links in your thing. You're going to get 2 to 3. It's going to be, hey, if you want to do this, this is a really cool option. If you want to do this, this is a cool option. And it's based on where the drivers drive. Eventually, there will be a platform to where we connect. It's geolocated. You can do the tracking, and it'll understand. When you're in a specific vicinity, this specific deal will come up. That's very integrated, very difficult to build, and candidly not what my priority is right now. Go here.
So you're an engineer, you're an Uber driver,
Yeah.
you're a subcontractor,
Yeah.
and now you've got this other entity that can allow you to make extra income. Your company, right? So I'm out for the night and I have no idea what I want to eat. You're telling me that, hey, I got 3 best restaurants, Italian.
That's right. Best spot in town.
Okay. Like,
Can you talk a little bit more about the user story? So I request a ride.
Yeah.
Whoever accepts my ride
That's right.
sends me a message. There's no opt-in. Say, hey, since you're going out in this area, there's great events or really cool spots happening. Right? So there's no opt-in. So automatically you're a user of your platform.
Yep.
And then how do I get out of that? I'll get out of that. And the second thing is, so your 1 for 6 is based off nobody opting in. Everyone's ever touched the platform.
1 out of 6 was within the sample size that we mentioned. Right, so I can't say it was everyone that's been in our platform. And my thoughts personally is that it's actually higher as we continue to grow. And so we train the drivers. Every one of our drivers goes through, a basic training. We educate them as to what's the best way to position, what's the best way to speak, engage. And really, this was built, I used to do those things just with other drivers in the community of them. We would all talk about what are the best way to get tips, where are the best places to go to get pings, how am I going to pick up more people in a night, how can I save most gas, how can I get the best trips? And so we were always talking about that. And so this kind of came naturally out of that. And from the user experience opting out, The user doesn't, so it's the difference between like paid advertising where you're like, this smells fishy, I don't really like this, like I'm being sold, and this is really cool, like this is organic, this guy's trying to deliver a high-end service, and educate you, like actually give me a good experience. It's two very separate things. So the user, one, doesn't know it is a process, and two, doesn't feel like it's a process. So there would not be an opt-out process.
I'm still confused about Ben's earlier question
Yes.
about how your company gets the cell phone number to be able to text. Are you getting that from my account with Uber?
No, so it's, you call an Uber ride. You are now, like, that driver now knows that he or she needs to pick you up, right?
Right,
Within
well,
the-
I don't call them. I mean, I
Right, you
press
press-
the car through
That's
the
right.
Uber app.
And so through that same app, once we pair, once I am your driver, you are my rider, I can message you. I have the ability to engage. I can call you, I can text you.
But
You have-
is that a violation of Uber's privacy for you to start using my cell phone number for your marketing?
It's not your actual cell phone number, because it's cloaked to me. As a driver, they use a spoofing system to where your number is cloaked, though it sends you the direct message. Same vice versa. Right? So your identity is completely safe. Is it a, like, are you breaking Uber's policy? No. When you're breaking Uber's policy, it's when you're leveraging their data and their results from their driver platforms and like all of your different like geometrics that they give out to their drivers to incentivize them to continue asking them, is when you leverage that to build your own separate platform. This is literally empowering drivers to engage with their riders better. And you have a follow-up?
Yeah, but then are you going to be saying, would some people view this as text spam? If after your ride, every
Some
couple
potentially
days,
I mean, our commitment is to not do that, right? So I'm personally the person who builds the templates, who engages with the people. Like, because I've done it for so long, I try and ensure that quality, and that's why we train all of our drivers. You're not going to send more than one message, and per drive, like it's literally just a send and done. If they reference it, that's awesome. You pitch them on it, and it's great. And if not, you leave it alone because it's supposed to be natural. Aaron?
Yeah. So, what are your plans to scale to other markets?
Yeah, so and that's the really fun part. Scaling's been, like there's zero overhead today, which is fantastic, like none. We're leveraging free platforms as well as like just my time, right? We brought on drivers through online communities that, again, just at the cost of time. The value of bringing on drivers is about $4 to $6 a ride, which is basically the minimums that you need to actually have an Uber ride and tell them about the idea. I've taken somewhere close to about 100 to 150 Uber rides. I've only lost one driver because he was a VP at Raymond James and didn't need the money. So 149 out of 150, 99 out of 100, somewhere between there is the success rate of bringing on drivers. You can do that in any city if you have money behind it. If not, you build the online community. It takes just a little bit, or you engage in communities that already exist, which are everywhere, and you personally message one by one. It's the value of your time. So once you have a few hundred drivers, your business scales. Boom, do your hands up, and then
I was going to say, to piggyback on some of these questions, which I understand, hey, I don't want the Uber driver to know what my cell phone is. You mentioned it was spoofed kind of like a Craigslist thing.
Right.
You don't really know.
And Uber does that. We don't.
Yeah, and it seems like this is just an electronic way, as opposed to a taxi driver pulling up and saying verbally, hey, what do you want to do? You guys want to go to a restaurant? You're just leveraging the technology to
Right.
send a text. And then it seems like an Uber driver, after the transaction's over, they don't really have a desire to text back to that same person again. They're moving on to the next client. Is that right?
Well, they can't text back to that person. It's through the platform. So it's like the driver doesn't have that number. They just press a button and it calls. They press a button and it texts. So the driver has zero information.
Yeah, so just doing a really quick SWOT on this, I see the biggest threat here is that if it was such a valuable tool, I would expect that Uber would pick up on it. If it's kind of against their policies for their interaction, that it would only take a very quick policy change for them to write something in, hey, this is not allowed, and you've invested a lot of time and money and efforts into going into that, and that to me would be a huge concern for me, unless you could actually communicate directly with Uber and say, look, we're trying to do it. And believe me, I've had some amazing interactions with Uber drivers. I had one guy back in Australia that actually came in a top hat and cane and came and really went over the top. So I applaud what you're trying to do, but definitely I think it's erring on that. I'm not 100%
It absolutely
sure
is.
I want to get text marketed to by my Uber driver. I like the fact that my Uber is usually local, and I probably do it 5 or 6 times a week, and I'm not sure if I want to receive a text message. I'd probably be one of the people at Uber ask of say,
Right.
so.
And that's a super huge concern. If Uber did change those things, we'd obviously be in a problem. We'd likely pivot, and again, to a concierge type basis, so the same people who were referring people, like, say your bartender, or say your actual concierge at hotels, we'd bring those people on and have them run through a similar affiliate process. So that's an awesome point, thank you. You were here, and then it was you, and then there,
So,
and then there.
a couple of things. Number one, I think to answer this question, and not that I'm trying to tell anybody in the room what to do, but you got to remember these are subcontractors, and when you bridge that gap and you start putting policies in place, as a subcontractor, you make them an employee, and that is not the model that's put forth by Uber. And I never see that to change.
Let's say my hat's in, sir.
Then we're going to be taxi service, right? And that's not their model. My second question, sir, is the revenue source. How are you generating a revenue source?
Yeah, again, from the businesses. Businesses want to promote their business. It's highly competitive. It's a Friday night. It's specific based on what they're trying to do and how they're trying to get to a new market. They use our service. We blast. So, I mean, it's another form of advertising. If you do pay-per-click model, like advertising online, you're paying Google to put your company at the top rate. This is a more direct, a more impactful, because it's direct recommendations, word of mouth, including online referral via text directly to you, so people are more willing to engage with it, and that's sending people to your company, right?
Yeah, hi, thank you. I think I understand your model, and I was just wondering, how relevant is Yelp these days anymore?
Significant.
Okay, I use Yelp a lot, and if I'm going to get into an Uber, I already know where I'm going.
Sure.
So, or I'm researching on Yelp where I'm going to go.
Right.
So how does that factor into your model?
Yeah, so we combine them, right? That's where that online referral comes from. So more powerful than, again, as you all had said earlier, more powerful than online referrals is what? Word of mouth, right? It's that recommendation that's intrinsic and natural that your driver's giving. Though we pair that with the online referral depending on your business, and we prefer to partner with businesses that are good. I'm not trying to send people to crappy restaurants or crappy hotels, and I don't want them as clients, so don't further to me, please. Though anyone who has a high value product or is really passionate about what they're doing, and obviously, I mean, if they have at least a decent, I'd say a 3 and up, we're willing to give them a shot and work with them personally, right? Cool. And then the boom.
I just texted a friend of mine who's a full-time Uber driver to tell him about this. So how does he get a hold of you?
That's that one.
Oh.
And Sean?
Yeah, actually, following up that question, how many people get order an Uber without knowing where they're going?
Yeah, that's a good stat too. That's a good question to get a stat on. I know, so that's actually a loaded question, so thank you. Because everyone technically knows where they're going, though what they're going to do may not be the answer, right? So hey, we're going downtown tonight. I can't tell you how many people, myself and the people in our car, we got nods here, right? People just go downtown. It's like, we're gonna go do something. Well, what are we gonna do? And then there's a time where people are like, yeah, we're gonna go to this restaurant, and like, this restaurant has a special, or it's not necessarily about that immediate purchase. It's not real-time value of customer is important, so we're thinking lifetime value of customer. We're thinking if these people are local, they're gonna come multiple times. If these people are vacationing, they're gonna wanna stop here before they leave, and now they have an incentive because someone personally has recommended it.
Just to add on to your response is also, I've been downtown and we've migrated from a downtown location to another one without necessarily knowing where to go.
Right.
So it's more of like a transfer at that point.
One.
To follow up on Sean's, is there a stat that tells how many people in the Tampa Bay area are local versus visiting using Uber?
Yeah, and we can only do it based on our tests and like the way we recorded data, which is manually from our drivers recorded. And again, that was based on 56% traveling, 44% local.
So which one do you think is your target market?
Travelers, absolutely. And you have to just think like that's where the disposable income comes from. That's where like the immediate engagement comes from. If you're thinking like value of customer, those people are going to act within 3 days because that's how long they're here. So that's if I had to segment, which I don't want to, but if I had to, that's what I do.
Could you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I said that.
Yeah, sorry, and I apologise for so interrupting.
I love it.
But, you know, I see the real value in what you're doing is the database of your Uber drivers, and I'm sure the limitations isn't just, hey, we can send an email to our guys, and maybe direct coupon type marketing, like electronic coupon marketing or something like that, to me would be more effective than me getting a spam sort of text message while I'm already on my way to a restaurant.
Yeah. I think we have a philosophical difference on what spam is.
Yeah.
Though aside from that, I totally understand the couponing perspective and potentially would grow that into the business. Though I want to ensure that it's an organic experience that makes the rider and the user feel natural, engaged, and not like they're being sold. That is the key, right? And Aaron, you got it.
Yeah, could you just explain a little bit about when you get the message and you get the link, right?
Yeah.
And then you click it. What happens then? Are you getting like a list, like a bunch of pictures?
It's either going to like a Yelp account, it's going to their company website, or we'll put you up on our own, site that will feature your company, depending on how you want to be promoted. It's literally, you have the choice as a business. Link is shortened, so it's really sweet, really simple.
To follow up on that and the point you made about having charts in your presentation, it really helped me just because what Aaron's getting at this is, I would love to see a sample text message,
Yeah.
sample message on the phone when you send in your flyers.
You have a number.
Yeah. If anyone's curious, it's 954.
Should we do this after? Yeah. All right.
So the company pays to advertise, and then do the drivers see any cut of that?
Absolutely.
So how much and what percentage and how?
It varies based on the company and the product, right? So we build like how much. It's about revenue sharing, and this came from being a part of the community. So I'm not trying to be cutthroat with anyone. We're trying to get drivers on the right track. If you know drivers, you know like they're typically driving for a couple of reasons. They either really enjoy it, which is kind of what I did, or they're trying to make extra money. So this is a way to incentivize them to make extra money. So we negotiate, and not negotiate, that we talk about the percentage cut each time on every business that's covered. If it's a higher pay-per-click model, if you've got a $3 per click business, the driver's going to take the same percentage cut. So they have an opportunity to make more money. And the better that they describe and explain your business, and the better that they can express the value, the more money they're going to make. And so they can supplement their insurance costs. They can supplement their gas. They can pay for, like, these are parents, like, these are kids going through college. Like, they can pay for real expenses, which is why it's really important.
Do us a favor, walk us through the logistics of actually signing up the businesses to for their marketing program, and what kind of budgets are you looking for on a monthly basis for the PPC campaigns?
Yeah, I mean, to start, we're looking for businesses come on at a $500 to $1,000 budget, right? And it's allocating towards. If you don't get the right clicks, you're not charged for it. It's, as many clicks that happen is as many dollars as you're going to be charged, right? And that's based on expressing the value, right? Again, still super early. No one else has ever done this, so it needs to be validated. We ran through a pilot project with both hotel, restaurant, entertainment working really well.
So have you signed up already? Is there businesses already signed up, restaurants and stuff? Are they willing to invest $500 to $1,000 a month into?
We have a significant amount of businesses in the pipeline, right? And we have 3 that are in our pilot program right now.
Okay.
How can we as a community help you grow this business?
Referrals for business owners and/or managers for hotel, awesome, like good quality restaurants, hotels, entertainment section. That would be great. Anyone who needs web development, SEO kind of stuff, that would be great.
Great presentation. I think that might have been our most energetic presentation we've ever had. I don't think I can match you by any means. But great job. So I'm up here as always to tell you about some events coming up over the next couple weeks. You have Bar Camp this weekend at USF Tampa. That's a huge event. Get upwards of 500-600 people there. Completely free, all-day event about development and technology. So from marketing to the actual design to the sales, the whole 9 yards. So if you have any questions about any of these events, I will let you know about them later, or you can get information on our weekly email that Carter sends out. We also have Iron Yard Demo Day, which is a fun event that showcases all of the work that the new developers, other startups and entrepreneurs here in the area. You also have the Tycon Florida and the Titan Awards a lot of help and assistance for people trying to start a business. So JJ, who's normally here, can tell you a little bit more about that if you have any other questions. But I will go ahead and get out of your way, and please give a warm round of applause for our next presenter, Zhenden.
Opposite of what Mark is just full of energy. I wish I had the tenth of that. But anyway, my name is Donna Sappin, and my company is Zhenden, and it's 10 Days to Freedom. I started out in the treatment industry about 8 years ago. Started out sober living, and then I graduated to a full-fledged state licensed treatment center for the state of Florida. That was over on the other coast, near the Deerfield Beach area. And without knowing anything about the industry when I started out, I got right into it, started researching, and I found out many, many, many things. Some things that I didn't want to know, but a lot of things that I did were really, really good. My company is a natural IV protocol. It's private, it's rapid, it's effective, and it restores the brain. I, for one, after doing the research I did, don't feel that addiction is a disease. I believe it's, we aren't born with it, we can't find it in our body, it develops, it's a process. So you get dependent on it, and eventually you do cause diseases, liver disease, heart disease, all kinds of things go wrong. But the main thing that happens with most people that become addicted is there's a chemical imbalance or a deficiency. Most of us feel chemical imbalance every day. We need our caffeine, we need sugar, we have all these little things that we do to make us feel a little better. So that's basically a little bit of a chemical imbalance. The second thing is unresolved events from the past. So we're trying to fix an emotional problem. Beliefs that we hold that are inconsistent with what is really true. We all do that. Some people do it more and more. Once you start drinking or get addicted to something, you ruminate over things and it compounds and it gets worse. The inability to cope with current conditions. We all find that that's hard to do. We all fight with that every day. But a lot of people take a substance in order to help with that situation, and eventually they become addicted. At Zhenden, the name itself, I think connotes some peace, some quiet, and most treatment centers aren't peaceful and they're not quiet. They're not simple, they're not discreet, they're slow. It takes 30, 60, 90 days to get through a basic treatment program, and oftentimes 80% of the time it doesn't work. So at Zhenden, we try to alleviate the fear, the pain of withdrawal. I don't know if any of you have experienced addictions. You probably know someone who's addicted. Most everybody does. So the pain of withdrawal is excruciating. You might have seen it in movies. It's horrible. Anytime you go into detox, you're going to experience some of that pain. They give you other medications to cover up that pain to help you deal with it at the time. But that's only for 3 or 4 days because that's all insurance will pay for. At Zhenden, there's very little embarrassment because this is an in-home concierge program where you can do it in your home if the home is suitable, the situation is suitable, or you do it in a hotel room. There's no job or income loss. Zhenden only takes 10 days. So for an executive or sports person, pilot, lawyer, professional people, business owners like yourself, they can't take 30 to 60, 90 days away from their job or business to do treatment. This can be done in 10 days. What is it? NAD is in every living cell of the body. NAD is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. I always have trouble saying neurotransmitters. Yes.
Sorry,
Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute left, oh my gosh. Okay, neurotransmitters are what send messages to the neurons in your brain. So NAD goes through your brain, through the IV, through your brain barrier, and it restores those neurotransmitters. So when you do a drug, what you're doing is you're blowing out all the dopamine and serotonin that your brain is able to produce at one time. Eventually, that neuron can't do it anymore. NAD resupplies that dopamine, serotonin, and everything through your body to get these synapses, these neurons to work. To start, these are synapses, that's the neurotransmitter going between two neurons to create that power in your brain to give you dopamine that heals you. So this is healing your brain. How it works, we do it on a 10-day IV program. You can sit there, you can work on the computer, watch movies, whatever you want to do for 10 days, then you go out. We heal the brain first. It's a coenzyme, heals the brain. We have a medical doctor who sees the patient right away, does blood work. We order the protocol, take you to where you're going, and start the procedure. So this is kind of the pathway of how it works, walking through it. Mike Sanders is the man that I met who actually is doing this in Atlanta. He actually went to Mexico where it originally started from a doctor from here, had to go to Mexico to do this back in the 70s. So Mike is like my mentor, my consultant, my friend. And that's Mike. Yes.
About how many clients do you deal with, and what do you charge them? Can you walk us through the client process?
The
Clients. How do you get clients? What do you charge them?
Okay, clients are usually done through referrals. That's what I'm working on now. I'm just launching this business, and that's my project right now. Yes.
What's your background?
My background, actually, I am a mom first. I was a realtor, an investor, real estate investor. I own hotels. This actually started in my hotel, and it's just through the 8 years of being in the industry that I've learned and studied, talked with a lot of people, watched the industry and how it works, and how corrupt it is, and the things that go wrong in the industry, and I wanted to be different. And I wanted to find something that actually healed the brain instead of just talking to the person, which you basically can't do. I wanted to heal the brain first, so then they're able to listen to what we say. Yes?
What is the efficacy of this treatment methodology? What percentage of people are cured of their addiction?
In the treatment industry, the success rate is 20%. In this, Mike Sanders has statistics. He has an 80% success rate. It actually heals the brain. Like I said in the beginning, it's the chemical imbalance. This heals the chemical imbalance. You have to deal with the psychological issues after that. That would be where the addiction might come back in. But it's not because your brain is craving drugs anymore. The cravings are minimal. There's booster shots throughout the year if you feel like you are relapsing. In the industry, they use relapse as a tool. I don't want to use the word relapse. We don't have relapse. This cures the brain, yes.
What's the cost for the 10-day program?
10-day program, in most treatment programs, it's anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 a month. This is $21,000 for 10 days. It includes a hypnotherapist counseling for 20 sessions of counseling after the 10 days. That counselor will follow you for 20 sessions. Nutritional plan, an exercise plan, all the modalities to give you a holistic approach to healing the addiction. Yes?
Are there any peer reviews or endorsements from the wider treatment community on the product itself?
On the product itself? Well, there are probably about 8 doctors around the country that are doing this. We have all the statistics of how they are performing, and they're all doing extremely well. It's one of those things that this came out in the 70s, and Dr. Hitt realized this. Methadone came on the market at the same time that he was coming up with his NAD. So methadone won. And people that are on methadone, that's about a $4,500 habit every year, and you don't get off of it. You're addicted to something else. We don't want you to be addicted to anything. Yes.
Did you say it was $21,000?
Yes.
Does insurance, insurance will cover?
This is a self-pay for several reasons, but I'll answer that. Several reasons it's self-pay is that we don't report this to any medical bureau. Nobody knows you have it. The discrete part of this program is that you can go away for a week from your job. Nobody knows has to know where you are. You come back, you're rejuvenated. The second part is we will give you a super bill at the end. And a lot of that, if you do want to submit it to your insurance company, a lot of that is paid up to about 60%. Because it is doctor supervised, nurses. There's a nurse with you all day. You bring an advocate with you at night, someone who's going to kind of watch, make sure you don't run out to the local bar and have a few, but and keep you company. Yes.
But you led by saying you believe it's more behavioral than physiological, and I think that's a big component of it, but I was just reading actually a study at the end of last week where some doctors and scientists in China are getting very close, they think, to isolating the genes that trigger addiction. Well, doesn't that, by definition, make it a disease? I mean, if it's something, I think some people are born with an addictive personality.
Some people have a propensity to addiction. That's true. Families have propensities. That doesn't mean that you have to become an addict. If you're deficient, say, in a thyroid hormone, you still function around, but if you get that thyroid medication, that's going to bump up your thyroid, you're going to feel copacetic, back to a homeostasis in your body. You're going to feel good. With an NAD deficiency, you might not be down here on NAD, but you might be a little bit. You bring it back up to a basic normal level, and then you don't have that propensity to become addicted. Yes?
Does this fall under any type of FDA regulation if you're doing an IV injection of people and it's supervised by doctors and nurses?
This is a natural protocol. It's a supplement.
Are you making any claims about recovery rates or any medical claims about the product?
I claim that this supplement, like any supplement, will help. It's doctor supervised, nurses. I only use RNs that are infusion specialties. I myself went and was certified in IV infusion. I can't give you an IV, but I know how to do it. I just want to make sure that everybody knows how to do it the proper way. It's a supplement. It falls under that whole supplemental industry. Yes.
So if it's just vitamin D3, why can't I just take that at home if I make it?
It's light. It comes from vitamin B3. It has to hook up with an H molecule. It becomes NADH. Okay, so there's something. I'm not a chemist. I don't even begin to tell you exactly how this works. But you could take a lot of. If you ever take niacin, you got to take a lot of it, and it makes you flush. There's not flushing niacin. But if you are not feeling like say you stop doing some drug, you're not really super addicted. If you start taking enough vitamin B3, you will start to feel better. You will start to lose that craving. But it takes a really long time. And what happens with addicts, that craving is so strong that they don't have time to wait for that niacin to kick in. It just won't. You know, this is a jump start. This is a super boost to the brain.
But to that point, I mean, niacin is a pharmaceutical. It's FDA regulated. How is it that niacin is regulated, but your product is not?
This comes from a compound pharmacy in Colorado. So you just can't buy this in Whole Foods. You know, you couldn't go, you have to have a prescription for this.
So it does fall under FDA regulation.
I guess the way the compounders are regulated, that's the regulation. Yes.
You mentioned earlier that because of privacy issues, it's self-pay, and the information is not reported. But if you're doing an insurance application, one of the questions on the application is in the last position that you saw, I do think you indicated that you have a physician that gives labs and those type of things. So that information eventually does go to the MIP, is that right?
It would, yeah, it would. But if you want to self-pay and you don't want to send your bill to
That has nothing to do with the insurance company. It has everything to do with
the doctor.
With the doctor.
Yes. I'm not sure.
How many patients have you had so far?
I myself have not had any. I am just starting. I know patients, I know people that have gone through this. Like I say, Mike Sanders has done 1,000 people. I went to his clinic, I stayed there for 3 days through his clinic. I'm just getting started. I left the normal treatment industry to get out of that and to get into this. Yes?
So I think it's great that you left that industry. It really is pretty broken, and a lot of people in it know. What are you doing to bring yourself, bring people, the professionals into the awareness of this? Because like you said, you don't do it yourself, right? So how are you getting doctors to deal with this type of thing? And it sounds like they're not getting paid very much. So what's in it for them?
The doctors?
Right.
The doctors are getting, I'm paying the doctors well. You're talking about the doctors that I have?
Right.
Yes, I pay the doctor. He is a holistic, both the doctors I have are holistic type medical doctors. They believe in natural protocols for all types of illnesses. So I don't understand your question.
So there's a couple things in there. I'm wondering what's the money spread, right? So your margin, so like the cost to the profit, it sounds like if you're paying a doctor well enough to live in their home for 10 days or wherever that you're doing this procedure, where are you getting money from? 20 grand just isn't that much.
Thank you. I don't have an office. I have very low overhead. Everybody that works is independently contracted, so I pay on an individual basis. If I have 1 client or 5 clients a month, the doctor gets paid for each one of those. The nurses all. I'm not sure. What do you mean exactly?
Maybe I can clarify. So if you're getting paid $21,000, how much of that are you having to part with to pay the various partners that you have in the process? So what do you walk away with at the end of that $21,000 transaction?
Well, I have that all figured out. I have a whole spreadsheet. My daughter's an accountant. I walk away with about $3,000 at the end of the day for 1 client. Now, when you have a clinic, which Mike has one, most of them have, I'm the only one doing this in-home. The reason I'm doing it in-home is because they struggle with the overhead. You might only have 1 person in there. You know, the good news is if you have 6 people in there, you only need 1 nurse. Okay, so but I don't want to do that. I would rather have 2 to 5 people a month and be able to manage that. And eventually, I would love for every addict, person with alcoholism, to be treated this way because it's really the best way, I think. It's the only commonsensical way to treat this problem. You can't talk at it. You can't pray it away. It's the brain. Yes.
So, what is your, why are you doing this, I guess the question is.
Why?
Yeah.
First, I started off saying I was a mom. I have 4 kids. They're all grown, healthy, wonderful adults. One of them struggled a bit, not badly. But when I got into this sober living thing, I was attracting all these young men. I didn't want to take women, I took only men. And I thought, God help me, because I'm going to become every one of them's mom. And that's essentially what happened. I was the mom. And my heart was breaking when these kids were relapsing. We had 1 death. How do you call them up? How do you call their parents and tell them they died? I wasn't responsible for them. They were just living in my place. I didn't have a real sober living. They were just living there. And I watched over them. So then when we got involved in it as a real treatment industry, I was with new eyes coming into something, with brand new eyes. Because I'm not an addict, I'm not an alcoholic, and I'm stepping back and looking at all these people that are running these industries. They're all addicts and alcoholics that want to give back and have these centers, but it's not working because I always, this sounds really disrespectful, but I said it's like the fox watching the hen house. Some of them were as nutty as the addicts. And that's it throughout the whole industry. Now there are some really good companies. Karen, the Hazleton Foundation is pretty good. But when it trickles down, you're getting counselors in there that only have been trained for 6 weeks maybe. But they're, because they were addicted, they think they know how to help somebody else that's trying to get unaddicted. And it doesn't work. You know, if these parents are, I guess I felt so bad for the parents. The money they were spending, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 on one kid. Yes.
So, and maybe this was addressed earlier. What is the success rate? So this has been out since the 70s. Do you guys?
No. This NAD was discovered in the 70s. No one used it. Dr. Hitt went to Mexico in the 70s, or it was actually discovered in the 30s. He went to Mexico in the 70s so that he could use it without anybody questioning him. And when you went there, John Gray, you know, from Mars, he went there. He says it's amino acid treatment. We do give amino acids orally. It does, I mean, it starts balancing everything. But Dr. Hitt didn't tell anybody it was NAD. He didn't want anybody to know. And he did his own thing down there. He was curing people left and right. But in the States, nobody was buying it. So it wasn't until the early 2000s that Mike was one of the beginning of this. There was one doctor in Louisiana. Mike went to her because he was such a drug addict and a drunk. His wife said, after Katrina, you better get help. He went to this woman, 10 days, he's great, up and running. He's a very successful businessman before he went down the hill. Yes.
Sorry, to finish, do you have any numbers on the success rate?
Yes. I don't have them with me. I have charts.
I think you mentioned roughly 80%?
80%. Yeah, 80%.
I thought you said 20% success. I misunderstood.
That's in the treatment industry.
Okay.
Where do you get your referrals and what kind of liability do you have in this instance? The liability insurance that you have, is that impacted in that $3,000 bottom line?
Yes, yes. For one thing, everybody's contracted, so the doctors have insurance, the nurses have insurance, I have insurance. Everybody that works for me has E&O insurance. That's what I've been told what I need. Yes.
Is there different effectiveness, whether you're talking about alcohol,
Yes.
or does it work for heroin?
Yes.
And
It
crystal
works
meth
best on
and...
alcohol. For some reason, it works best on alcohol. They're not sure why. Part of it could be that with the alcohol, it has such an effect on every organ in your body that it's curing the liver, it's helping your whole body function better. For some reason, they just have a better success rate with alcohol. The only thing with alcohol is if they are really a raging alcoholic and they come to me, I may keep them at the doctor's clinic for 1 or 2 days because they have more risk of dying. An addict, there's generally with detox, there's no risk of dying. You can detox yourself and be miserable, but you usually don't die. But an alcoholic would die. But for some reason, it works best on alcohol. Yes?
How can we as a community help you brothers?
Send me referrals. I'm looking for referrals. Everybody knows someone that needs help. My kind of niche market, I've worked so hard with the younger generations. I'm looking for people 35 up that have something to lose. The kids I work with, they didn't own anything. They had nothing to lose. I want the person that has a business, has a company. And this is great for employers because they can send their CEO or CFO or top guy or whoever away for a week and a half. Just think of the money that the company saves because that guy didn't go away for 30 or 60 days.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark, as well. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank Tower Coffee for caffeinating us. Remember, if you or someone you love would be great up here presenting something, presenting a new company, a product, something scalable and under 4 years old, please go to 1millioncups.com/St. Pete, request to present. We'll get you in the queue. Please remember, tell your friends, come on out, have fun on a Wednesday, start the middle of your week, or I guess bisect your week well with some coffee. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a great day.